Okay, in this video, we are going to go over how to write equations of parabolas in vertex form. Okay, so remember the general form for a parabola is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So your first step is to determine your scale factor, so the a. The second step is determine the horizontal shift, then change the sign, and that would be your h. And then your third step is to determine your vertical shift or your k, and then plug that into the equation. So let's write this equation. So we first need to figure out our a, h, and k. So your a is your scale factor. So from your vertex down here, you are going to go up 1, over 1. So that means your a is 1. Your horizontal shift is how much your vertex moved from the origin. It moved 1, 2 to the right. And then k is how far it moved up or down from the origin. It moved down 1. So that's my k. So I'm going to take this information and I just wrote it, typed it here. So I can erase this. So our scale factor we said is 1. Our horizontal shift is 2. And then our vertical shift is -1. So we're going to plug it into the equation y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So when I plug that in, a is 1, so I didn't need to write it. And you might say, okay, so the horizontal shift is 2, and down here it's -2. Remember, it's always the opposite in the equation. So it's x minus 2, and then our vertical shift is -1. Okay, let's try this again. So first, figure out your vertical shift. Not vertical shift, your scale factor. So from the vertex to my next point, I go up 2. So my scale factor is 2. Then from there, find the coordinate of find your horizontal shift. So my vertex moved over 1 to the left from the origin, and it went down 1, 2, 3 to -3. So our equation, we plugged in our scale factor. Then we have to change the horizontal shift, so it's x plus 1 squared minus 3. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Take a second and see if you can write this one on your own. Okay, first we need to determine the scale factor. So from our vertex to the next point, it is down 1, 2, 3. So my scale factor is -3. Then determine what direction, left or right, your vertex moved from the origin. It moved 1, 2, 3 over. So your horizontal shift is 3. And then your vertical shift from the origin, it moved down 1, 2, 3. So our vertical shift is -3. From there, plug this into the equation. So scale factor is -3. Then it's x minus 3 because it's the opposite of your horizontal shift. And then your vertical shift is down 3. Okay, how to write equations from the description. Your first step is identify your scale factor, your A. And if it says reflected about the x-axis, that means your scale factor is negative. Next, identify your horizontal shift, H. If it says to the left, it's positive. If it's to the right, it's negative. And then your vertical shift, if it says positive, it's up. And if it says negative, it is down. And then you're going to take all of that and plug the information into this equation, x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so let's try this. So it says write the equation of the parabola in vertex form that is shifted 2 units to the right and 4 down. So 2 to the right, this is going to be our h. And since it says to the right, it means it's going to be negative 2 in our equation. And then it says 4 units down, that is our k. And so we know that's going to be negative 4. So we're going to plug it into the equation y equals ax minus h squared plus k. They did not give us a scale factor, so we're going to assume the scale factor is 1. So I'm going to, so they put in negative 2. So they wrote the equation as y equals parentheses x minus 2. It's minus 2 because it's going to the right, and then 4 units down. And you could put, for example, you could put a 1 right here in front of your parentheses to represent your scale factor as 1, but you don't have to. And either way is right. But if they don't tell you your scale factor, assume that it's 1. Okay, example 5. Write the equation of the parabola in vertex form that is stretched by a factor of 2/3. So the only thing they gave you is your scale factor. So I know my scale factor is 2/3. They didn't give me a horizontal shift, so I could say plus or minus 0. Either way is correct. And they didn't give me a vertical shift. Well, the answer you'll see on the screen is y equals 2/3 x squared. They removed the zeros, and so our final answer is this. Okay, then the next one we have write an equation of the parabola in vertex form that is shifted 4 to the left, 5 down, and has a scale factor of 2. So we know this is our k, not our k, sorry. It is our h. 5 down is our k, and our scale factor would be our a. So we're going to plug it into this equation. And so when you plugged it in, so we plug the scale factor of 2. It shifted 4 to the left, so x plus 4, because to the left is 4, and then 5 down. Okay, let's try example 7. Write the equation of a parabola in vertex form that is shifted 2 to the right, 1 up, and it is reflected over the x-axis with a scale factor of 1/4. So when it says reflected over the x-axis, this means your scale factor is going to be negative. So our a is a negative 1/4. And see if your horizontal shift So it's 2 to the right, that's your h, and 1 up, that's going to be your k. So if you type it in as your equation, so -1/4 as our scale factor, x minus 2 because it's going 2 to the right, and then our k plus 1. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you contact me. But this is your lesson, and thanks.